everyone, in this video we are going to sketch a piecewise graph given a word problem. Let's take this first example right here. A certain public parking charges $5 for the first hour and additional $3 for each additional hour. Sketch the graph. Before we sketch the graph, I already have prepared this graph over here. So we're going to be looking into the first quadrant only since all of these values are positive. So we're going to label this graph first before we sketch the graph. So on the x-axis that we have here, we're going to have this for the hours. So I'm going to label this for hours. And then so it's pretty much like time. And then the other one right here would be for the cost here. Okay, so let's take this first statement right here. A certain public parking charges $5 for the first hour. So from 0 hour to the first hour would be $5. So this 0 hour, you're not going to charge yet. It's going to be an open circle. On the first hour would be a closed circle. So we're going to connect these two together. This means that even if you park the car for half an hour, your charge is $5. Again, the cost here is in dollars. Okay, so this is a closed circle. Now, it says here that you're going to be charged $3 for each additional hour. So from the first hour to the second hour, it's going to be 8 because it's going to be added by 3. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be right here. It's going to be an open circle since you for the first hour, the charge is 5. So you're not going to be charged $8. So in here, we're going to be from first to second hours, it's going to be a closed circle right here. And so this is the graph. So it's not going to be a linear graph, but instead it's a piecewise graph. So what this means that for the first hour, the charge was $5 and not 8. But after like an hour and 10 minutes, so that means the charge is already 8. Now, it says that it's going to be additional $3 each for every hour. So on the second hour, that's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going to be $11 and it's going to be an open circle. And then up to the third hour. So it's going to be $11 from the second hour to the third hour. Then after that, it says additional 3. So it's going to be, that's 11 plus 3 is 14. So that's going to be right here. So it's going to be an open circle here. And then on the fourth hour, it's going to be a closed circle. And so this means that if you park the car 3.5 hours, you're going to be charged $14. Or there's no, so in this kind of graph, there's no like it's all going to be even. So you're not going to be charged like, oh, since you parked only for half an hour, you're going to be charged only with $2.50. That's not how it works. So from the 0 hour to the first hour, it's gonna be $5 even if you park the car for 45 minutes only. So this is what this graph is telling us. And then additional $3 after that. So that would be 14, 15, 16, 17. So it's gonna be right here. It's an open circle. And then on the fifth would be a closed circle. So and then on the 5th to the 6th hour, it's going to be, that's 17 plus 3 would be 20. So it's going to be an open circle here. And then it's going to be a closed circle on 6. So again, I'd like to repeat. In this problem right here, on the first hour, your charge is $5 and not 8 because 8 is not included since it's an open circle. Pretty much the same thing with the second hour. So the second hour would be that's gonna be $8 and not 11 because again this is open circle, this is closed circle. Now if you park there for 3.5 hours, then you will be charged. You're gonna go to 3.5 hours. It's right here. So when you trace it, you are gonna be charged $14. So this is what we call as the piecewise graph. Now let's answer these questions that we have here. How much should you pay if you park for 2 hours? So we go 2 hours and we trace it up here. So this is gonna be $8. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write this as again for 2 hours it's gonna be $8. Don't get confused with the circle that's up here. This is an open circle, that means it's not included. This is a closed circle, that means this is included. So that means our charge for the first 2 hours would be $8. So I'm just gonna write $8 right there. And then for letter B, 2.5 hours. So 2.5 would be here. So let's trace it. So it's gonna be $11. So this is gonna be $11 right here. And then for 3 hours and 10 minutes. So 3 hours and 10 minutes is somewhere around here because this is 3 hours and 30 minutes. So 3 hours and 10 minutes should be somewhere around here. So we trace it up. It's gonna be $14. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write $14 for this. And then half an hour. Again, half an hour would be, because others are going to think like, oh, since you said that for the first hour, it's $5. So if you park there for half an hour, should it be $2.50? No, based on this graph, it's actually $5. So even if you park the car for 10 minutes, the charge is $5. So this one right here would be $5. Now, we are supposed to determine the domain and range for this. So the domain and range would be for each of these pieces. So let's take this example right here. So the domain for this piece, so let's take the first piece, that would be x is greater than 0, but less than or equal to 1. So since this is an open circle, I did not put a bar underneath. So this is read as x is greater than 0, but less than or equal to 1. And then the range for this is, that's going to be y is equal to 5. So because that's the y value right here and it's equal to 5. Now the same thing for this. If we want to determine the domain for this piece, that's gonna be x is greater than 1, and it's gonna be less than or equal to 2. And then the range for this piece would be that's gonna be 8 right there. So y is equal to 8. So it's pretty much the same thing for this. So the domain for this would be x is greater than, there's no line underneath since it's an open circle. So it's greater than 2, but less than or equal to 3. And then the range for this is y is equal to 11. So y is equal to 11. So that's it. It's pretty much the same thing for this. So let's take this one last right here. So the domain for this would be x is greater than, that's going to be 3, but it's less than or equal to 4, since that this is this matches up with a closed circle, so there's a bar underneath. So this matches up with a closed circle, so there's a bar underneath. Since this is an open circle, there's no bar underneath. Since this is an open circle, there's no bar underneath. And then for the range of this, that would be y is equal to, that's 14. So it's pretty much the same thing for the rest of the parts. So that's the domain and range for this graph. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So the average cost to rent a car at a certain car company is $40 for the first day, and additional $20 for each additional day. Sketch the graph. We label this part here. This will be days. So this is going to be days right there. And this one right here would be the cost. And this is going to be in dollars. Okay, so from 0 to the first day would be 40. So this goes by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So from 0 to first day would be $40. So this is going to be an open circle. That means you're not charged yet because you haven't taken the car yet. So that's no charge on the 0 day. So starting on the first hour up to the first day. So it's going to be a closed circle here. And then we can connect these two dots together. So that is on the first day. It says that for additional of $20 for each additional day. So from 40s, then we go ahead to 60 because it's going to be additional $20. So this is going to be an open circle. And then on the second day, that's going to be a closed circle right there. And then the same thing is going to happen. Again, additional $20. So that's 60. So it's going to go to $80. So that's an open circle, then a closed circle on 3. And then we connect them together. And then the same thing from, since we go by $20, so that's from 40, then 60, then 80, then plus 20, that's going to be 100. So it's going to go up here, open circle, and this is a closed circle right here, and we can connect them together. And then the same thing, so that's 100, so we go 120, so it's going to be an open circle, and then closed circle up to the 5th day. So it's going to be, we connect these two together. So this is the graph for this problem right here. This means that if you rent a car for half a day, the charge would be $40 because it goes by days. So we go over and look at the answer to each of these here. So for the how much should you pay if you rent a car for 5 hours? So 5 hours would be like somewhere around here because this is like 12 hours here. So halfway between that, somewhere around here. So the charge would be $40. So that's gonna be $40 right there. And then a day and a half. So a day and a half should be somewhere around here. So we trace it up. That would be $60. So I go ahead and write this as $60 for 2 days. So for 2 days here, again, this is an open circle. That means you're not going to be charged 80, but instead the included one will be the one that we pick. So that would be $60 for the second day. Again, that's open circle. That's not included. This is an included value. So that means it's going to be $60. So 1.5, as you can see here, 1.5 day and 2 days are just pretty much the same charge. 3 days and 8 hours. So 3 days and 8 hours should be somewhere around here. So the charge for that is $100. So I'm just going to go ahead and write $100 for this. 4.5 days. So 4.5 day would be here because it's the 5th day. So the charge for that is $120. So this is gonna be $120. So pretty much the same thing how we find the domain and range for this. So let's start with the domain first. So the domain for this would be x is greater than 0 because that's an open circle. So it's greater than 0, but it's less than or equal to 1. And then the range for this is gonna be y is equal to 40 because that's 40 right there on the y-axis. Same thing for this right here. So we have the domain for this would be x is greater than, it's an open circle, so I don't put a bar underneath, and that is 1. So it's greater than 1, but again, there's no bar because this is not included. And then it's less than or equal to 2. And then the range for this is gonna be 60. Y is equal to 60. Now let's take this one right here. So the domain for this would be x is greater than, open circle on 2, and then less than or equal to 3. And then the range for this is y is equal to, that's 50, 60, 70, and 80. So y is equal to 80. And it's going to be the same thing for the rest of them. So that's how we determine the domain and range for this kind of graph, which is called the piecewise graph. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!